Well, it has been a very interesting 1 year with the Lumix S9 camera. Consider this video a long-term review and follow-up to my initial review on the S9, which, by the way, I really appreciate all the support on that video, and I really hope this one brings just as much or more value to the table. And just as a reminder, I bought this camera with my own money, nobody sent it to me, and the intention was to use it as a daily dad camera and life documentary camera for both photo and video. But to my surprise, the S9 aged much differently in my kit than I was expecting. I'm kind of nervous about the reaction to this video, and I don't know. I don't want to feel bad, but I have to be completely honest with you guys. But let's just dive into it, and I appreciate that you guys are here. This video is sponsored by Professional Photographers of America. More on them in a bit. Let's follow that exact same format as the last review. We're gonna do pros, cons, lenses, and then end with a segment about my brutally honest thoughts on Lumix as a brand and where they are right now, and some kind of critical issues I have that I feel like we should all address. But let's start with the pros. First of all, I absolutely still adore the sensor in the S9. Image quality wise, it's everything I could want from a compact camera. I just love how it looks, everything from the photos to the videos. I have no problems with it. It looks gorgeous. The fact that I can shoot open gate 6K out of a small, compact, full frame camera like this is just kind of wild. And because of the high quality footage from this camera, it makes it really enticing to take on trips. Recently, I went to Colorado to visit 3 of my best friends, and we went camping for a couple days, and the S9 was a perfect companion to shoot photos and footage of my friends the entire time because it was so easy to just throw in the bag, take along with me without taking up a lot of space, and the results are still just as good as a lot bigger cameras out there. And yeah, it's just really convenient. I would also still consider Lumix Lab overall a pro. However, I don't use it nearly as much as I was anticipating. But I think that's actually a good thing, and it's a testament to how awesome the LUT workflow is in the newer Lumix cameras. Basically, if you want to use Lumix Lab, you can just download LUTs on there that you want, transfer them to your camera, and then just kind of forget about Lumix Lab until you need it again. Unless you're fully into the lab process and you want to color grade your photos and stuff in there. I don't do that. I thought I was going to, I really don't. But what I love to do is make my own LUTs for my camera in DaVinci Resolve by shooting my base profile for photography in Vlog, just like my video footage. So my LUTs across the board look amazing. I'm not gonna go in depth on how I create these. I did that in that last review, so if you wanna check that out in my workflow on making LUTs and not have to go buy them from other people, feel free. I also do have 4 Lumix LUTs that I've made over the past year that I think are all very solid and give wildly different looks if you do want something quick and easy to just bake in your camera, but no pressure. And along with that LUT workflow is just the amazing features you get with shooting JPEG photos. And before you cringe at JPEG photos, remember you can shoot JPEG and RAW at the same time and just experiment and have fun. A lot of times I just end up using the JPEGs because they look exactly how I would want or better than I would be able to color grade my photos anyway. And I'm still obsessed with the 3 different strengths of grain that I can add to my photos. You can add color noise as well. I found myself not really using that at all this past year. But one thing I'm using like crazy is the different aspect ratios in camera. It's one of those things where, yes, they're just adding a crop to the file, which you could do in post, but the fact that it's in camera just makes it feel more intentional and changes the way you shoot because you're seeing the format you're gonna end up with. And I like that extra level of commitment. If I'm gonna shoot X-Pan, I'm committed to it. If I'm gonna shoot 3x2, I'm committed, baby. Well, it's nice. And then some other rapid fire things I am still loving. The IBIS, it's still the best. Lumix, you're crushing that. The autofocus in video and photo is very solid. It's very reliable. It's so hard to say, is it up to Canon and Sony level? Honestly, none of them are perfect and all of them are good. So just pick what you want. The battery life is incredible on this camera. It's really, really good. And the fact that their last huge firmware update removed the record limit and let you set the overheating to high, which basically means this camera doesn't really overheat that much. I'm sure it does if you put it in extreme conditions and record for really long periods of time, which I never do. I went camping in the woods for 2 days in Colorado and never had it overheat because I'm just shooting burst clips, burst photos. I never have to worry about it. And overall, I just love the images that come out of this camera, that visual side of it. But sadly, those pros clash against a wave of cons. I want to let you guys know that I will be going to Nashville, Tennessee's Imaging USA, put on by today's sponsor, Professional Photographers of America. I had an absolute blast at Imaging USA last year. I want to encourage as many people to go as possible because I had so much fun connecting with brands, looking at gear. They had an amazing showroom floor. And if you become a PPA member, you get into Imaging USA for free. There's a lot of different perks with your membership. The most popular one is you get up to $15,000 of gear equipment insurance, which I might have to use after you hear a little bit more about this camera. But you also get access to help with data loss, contract templates, different business resources to actually develop your business and learn how to market yourself. And obviously you can learn how to take better photos. So there's so many resources on their website. This only scratches the surface of what PPA is. So at the very least, just go check out their website using the link below. If you do sign up with my link, you get $25 off your membership. Check them out at the link in the description. And now let's talk about some cons of the S9. Okay, this first one I was not expecting at all when I first got this camera, but it's very important that I mention it, and that's the build quality. I am like pretty disappointed with the build of this camera. This dial right here, I have set to my shutter speed, and it just like barely works at all. Not working. Kind of working. Not working, goes backwards. Should be going faster and faster. It's just going back and forth. Sometimes I just gotta go crazy with it until it works again. Like genuinely, I have missed so many moments because I'm trying to dial in my shutter speed with that and it just fails. And you might say, Zach, just set it to the top dial up here. Well, that's my aperture on autofocus lenses. If I change it, I gotta put aperture on the other one. That one's busted. I don't know what you're expecting of me. I swear the turn on time has gotten faster for me. I complained about that in my last video, but it's honestly like not as bad. Yeah, it's a lot faster now. What the heck? I mean, the build quality isn't like bad, but it's also just not premium. And I really wanted something just premium from Panasonic. I don't know. I just feel like they used to be known for their build quality. We'll get into that too in a little bit. I'm sorry. Need a drink. Something to take the edge off. But it's not just the build quality that frustrates me, it's also Panasonic's menus and user interface. Even spending so much time with Lumix cameras this year, I swear like there's just too much going on. Like I appreciate that there's so many things you can do with their cameras, but yeah, it's overwhelming. I'm stressed. Like for instance, there's this graphic that shows up on the screen when I'm changing my aperture or shutter speed, but right below it, I can also still see my shutter speed and aperture changing like a normal camera menu. And I can't for the life of me find out how to turn this massive graphic off. All right, MP4 Lite. I kind of roasted it in the first review, but I actually started using it in the S9 because it's the only video mode that you can shoot in and then directly transfer it to your phone and like send to people or just post on Instagram or wherever. The con for me is that it's still only limited to 30 frames per second. I wish I could shoot in 24 because I love filming my son with this camera, but I don't want to film everything of him in 30p. Okay, now we have the big daddy cons, and I'm not even talking X-cons. These are like in prison for life cons. First one is no mechanical shutter. I know everybody knows this, I'm sure. It's just a satisfaction thing when you're shooting a photo and you have a shakunka, a little shakunga, and this camera doesn't have it, it's just. And then the biggest one of all, maybe you're predicting this, but no EVF. I still can't get over this, guys. I can't get over it. I'm sorry, I'm gonna talk about it. I've seen people online defending this. The screen's bright enough, shoot outside. Do you literally live under Patrick Starr's rock house? Does your country ever have clear skies? Mine does, and it's not bright enough. Shooting photos on a flip screen and not having an EVF is just like diabolical to me at this point. I don't know, I'm sorry, it is. And for me, this is an absolute deal breaker and probably one of the reasons I'm probably going to. I was watching back my A-roll, long story short, I want to re-chat about lenses because I feel like I've tried a lot of different options and I want to just be completely open with my experience on lenses with this camera. If you want a daily operational camera that isn't super bulky and heavy, this is basically your only option with autofocus. That is a big asterisk there. This is the 18-40 from Lumix. It's an f4.5 to 6.3, an 18-40. So how I use this when I do use it is I literally just have an automatic dad cam mode that just does all the exposure for me because I just don't care to even try to make it look great, which is fine. Honestly, that's like a pretty fun way to use this camera, but even still, this is not realistically pocketable. Dude, this thing's about to actually pants me. That's wild. Yes, this is compact for a full frame, but it's still full frame. And I think that's where I may have set expectations too high for myself, is going for a pocketable full frame camera with a small pancake lens with good autofocus and solid depth of field f-stop ability. I also tried the Sigma I series lenses, still not really pocketable. Then there's also the Panasonic 1.8 primes, which also like beautiful image quality, specifically the 35, insane, but again, not pocketable. So if you actually want relatively pocketable lenses, you have to go fully manual. There's that Brighton Star, weird, cool looking lens, but obviously it's full manual. So for me, I want to be able to hold my S9, shoot some photos and videos, be able to hand it to my wife or a family member or friend and have them shoot some stuff, which basically means I have to try other brands. I can't rely on this to be my daily documentary camera. And I think that's why I might be feeling a little bit guilty about this long-term review. And if you bought an S9, like based on my recommendation, like analyze if you're having a good time with it, if you're using it how you wanted to, and let that be the judge of whether or not it was a good financial and camera decision for you. Don't base it on my specific qualms with like not being able to use it in my pocket, which is like kind of ridiculous for me to assume I could do with a full frame camera anyway. All right, so the final section of this video I'm titling Lumix Please. I do kind of worry about the quality of their cameras in like with the current lineup and with my S9 versus what I used to experience with the GH4 and GH5. I started my freelance career on those two cameras and never once had an issue, never lost a file, never had a camera overheat, never had a camera randomly die. But now the community seems to be dealing with like some overheating issues on their newer cameras, me with my build quality in the S9. But what I want to see is Lumix truly make a premium compact full frame camera. I think it's time because they have the imagery absolutely nailed. They have Lumix Lab nailed, JPEGs, video settings, like they have their photo video stuff internally dialed in. Now I want to see that matched with a compact full frame premium body. If something like that can come along, then maybe I could consider myself a Lumix dad shooter again. But for now, I think I have to move on from this camera because it's just not working for me. I don't really know exactly what I'm gonna do with this camera. If you guys have any ideas for me, let me know. But for now, like, you can't be my dad cam anymore. I have to find something else. So I guess this is kind of chapter 2 of pursuing my perfect dad cam. And I have no idea where to begin.